Happy Wine Wednesday, everybody. Ooh, I've got a sea dragon in my head, don't I? That's all right. He can
Yeah.
nibble on my hair. Happy Wine Wednesday. Sophie had some stuff to do, so Kelly's back. Yay! I don't have much to talk about tonight, but I'm here and I'm here for you guys. And I'm really glad to be back with the community and here tonight. I've got Ray and Holly with me as usual. And we're all, we were talking before the show, and the thing is, Ray doesn't have seahorses anymore. Holly's and my seahorses are getting older. We haven't, brought in new blood. We're not breeding. So it's like, oh gosh, what do we talk about? Where's Sophie when you need her? But so tonight will either be super short or we need questions, guys. If you have any questions about keeping seahorses, about saltwater or whatever, I'll of course keep the conversation going for a while, but we need your questions in order to have a happy wine Wednesday. I keep losing my seahorse. He's there, I promise. Um, so I know I'm in and out now because I'm working all the time like a crazy person, but just an update on my tanks. So my all-in-one is still going, everything's good, macros are still great, um, but all my seahorses have slowed down. I think Holly and I have talked about this previously. I'm not sure if it's been a topic lately, but they're eating less, doing less, they still swim around and are happy and living their lives, but no breeding. Unfortunately, I never got any breeding from this round. So I started keep taking care of seahorses, what? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like 15, 20 years ago? I'm not even sure. It's been a long time. But when I first started with seahorses, it was like I got a pair and they were breeding like rabbits, and all of a sudden I was raising fry and etc. And then I was lucky enough to meet Dan Underwood of Seahorse Source, and I was able to get different species of seahorses, right? And so I was trying to breed those, and it just like became my obsession, and it was so wonderful. And then my mom passed, and I wasn't taking care of things because I had depression or whatever. And once, about 4 or 5 years after that, I started back with seahorses, and I really wanted to prove, and I have proven, that you can keep them in a smaller tank. Not as easily, a lot more work. We can talk about that if you'd like, but I know we have before. But my point is, this time around with the seahorses, I don't know why, but I got seahorses from Holly. I got seahorses from Vincent. I got seahorses from Ocean Rider. And for some reason, I just never got Fry. Could have been the smaller tank, could have been 100 million different reasons, but it's just kind of been me and my gang, and they have loved life and been happy and entertained me and no Fry. But maybe that's because I couldn't handle it, right, guys? I mean, too much show for me Wednesday. But I'm just saying, it's been a different experience. Did you have that, Ray? Like with different times that you kept seahorses?
No, but I had it with different pairs of seahorses. I had many times I had seahorses that didn't produce at all,
Yeah,
but that worked out fine because I had so many seahorses. There was always somebody producing.
right,
Always something, yeah.
right. Like there was a time where I had literally like 12 tanks in my house. And I'm not talking about little tanks. I had a 90 gallon, a 55, a 65, like big tanks in my house, and then fry tubs, right? And it was amazing, but it was a lot of work. But it was amazing, but that just wasn't my experience this time around. And that, like I said, guys, that was probably a good thing because I don't know what kind of job I would have done with all this work and etc. But it's not bad. So, like, I'm just thinking of all the people out there like Zen who want to keep seahorses but don't want the hassle of dealing with Fry or feeling guilty about Fry or whatever. Um, That's
Mhm.
not what happened to me this time around. So I'm just wondering, like, you guys are, I'm not very active on Facebook anymore, but I know, Holly, you
Mhm.
are. Do you still
Mhm.
see a lot of people that get seahorses and then they're instantly dealing with fry?
I see a lot of fry lately.
Yeah,
I do see people raising fry. I'm working a lot right now. It's my busy season, so I don't
sure.
keep track of that much. I'll just kind of scroll through and go, oh, there's
Yeah,
so, there's what's going, here's the
sure.
fry. And so, yeah, people are doing that. I mean, for me, my seahorses like yours, they're getting older. They're slow now. They're not eating as much. I'm having an easier time caring for them though, because
Yeah,
now I'm down to one tank and not going through as much salt and all that. But it's kind of got me thinking about maybe next time around, because I do want to take a break so I can travel and such.
sure.
But maybe someday in the future, if I do see horses again, I'm thinking I'd probably do just one tank, like my 55-gallon, and make it not just seahorses. I think I'll only do one pair of seahorses and have like both females,
Mm-hmm.
and then do some other kinds of fish that are compatible with them, and maybe do some safe corals and macros, kind of like Joey is doing, and just have it be, but not have like the fry or so many, just make it
Sure.
easier.
Well, and I'm so disappointed. I'm gonna have to go back and watch last week, you guys, because I wasn't there and I didn't see how amazing Joey's tanks were. I'm bummed
Mhm,
about that for sure. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. So I'll have more to comment on that next week.
mhm,
But no, I get it, and it's really interesting. You know what's interesting to me is that when we first started this channel, it
mhm,
was we were trying to spread the word and tell people be super careful, keep seahorses alone. I go back and look at some of my
mhm,
videos and it's like seahorses and snails, that's it. You can't have
mhm,
anything else, stop it, don't do it. And I mean, I still stand by that in certain cases. I mean, like,
mhm,
I personally would never keep clownfish with seahorses,
mhm,
or there's on seahorse.org. There's a listing of 1 to 3 how dangerous is it to keep this fish or whatever with
mhm,
seahorses, and it's still a valid and good list. But we just see more and more people doing more and more things, right?
mhm,
And figuring out that, hey, no, you can't keep seahorses with a bunch of other fish in a
mhm,
like 20-gallon tank. That's not going to
mhm,
work. But if you have a 300-gallon tank, it kind of
mhm.
changes the dynamic, and you
Yeah.
still have to worry. I see Ray looking at me. You still have to worry about bacterial stuff and where you're getting your fish from. I'm not suggesting that anything
Mhm.
is okay or not. I'm just saying we're seeing a lot of people do some really interesting things with, keeping seahorses and being successful. And I think it's great.
I think you
Well, the
just
biggest
have to
thing,
be careful.
the
What,
biggest
Ray?
thing that generally what we see is a very small segment of the market. And
Right.
even for what we see, uh, I know I've come across uh, tanks that have been set up not the way I would recommend, but some people have been successful.
Sure.
But some of these ones that claim success, all of a sudden you don't hear from them anymore.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And they drop off.
Now, on the
So,
other, and that, but then there are so many that we don't have any contact with.
sure.
Now, how many of them have tried this and failed?
Right.
We
Right.
don't know.
So
So,
there's always the tried and true. And like, I leave those old videos up, even though they're terrible. I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that audio, that video, oh gosh. But the facts still remain. Like
Yeah, they're very informative. I
the
like your old videos.
yeah, the person that I admire the most in seahorse keeping is Dan Underwood. And,
Mhm.
don't worry, Ray and Holly, you're second, and third or whatever. But
Well, I know
I'm
Dan Underwood, that's for sure.
right. And
He was
neither am I.
amazing.
Okay.
He is
But
amazing.
he
He knew
taught
a lot.
me so many things and he knew
Mhm,
so much about seahorse keeping. And of course, he was a commercial breeder. So he had like not, I mean, like he wrote, scientific papers. I mean, he was serious in the business. And, he just taught me so much. Half of it I don't even remember, right? Because I'm not as good as Holly
mhm,
about writing it down and keeping notes. But I'm just saying it was such a different world back then. I mean,
mhm,
even from then to now, and I'm sitting here saying, you know what? It doesn't have to be seahorses and snails anymore. If you do this, this, and that, there's
mhm,
always a this, that, and this, right? It's not, I mean, still, if you're trying to do a single tank with a pair of seahorses and, you want them to be successful and live a long life, you still have to
mhm,
follow the rules. But
mhm,
people have found these workarounds. And like Ray said, most of them don't work. You should still
mhm.
follow the rules. But there are some that do, if you get more water
But yeah,
volume.
I mean, you can find interesting other creatures and macros and corals
Yeah.
and things that can live with them just fine. So yeah, if you're careful about
Yes.
it,
Where
you
you're
can.
getting
The
your
humans,
animals from or your
there's
fish
all kinds
from.
of humans that justify the odds and they're still alive.
Right. That's
Mhm,
true too. I mean that's true too. The good die young and no rest
mhm.
for the weak, whatever. Anyways, I don't
That's
really
why
have
I'm
a
old.
point. Go ahead.
That's why I'm old. You just said the good die young.
Ah. Well, I'm getting up there with you, Ray. But I don't really have like a point I'm trying to make. I'm just saying I think it's great that people are finding new ways to have amazing tanks and still keep their seahorses safe. I still fall back on the old rules because if you're new and you've not kept seahorses before and you're not even familiar with saltwater, you really need to make sure, that you're cycling the tank properly, that you're not putting them with other things, that you're doing all the rules. But I just think it's pretty cool that people are figuring out how. I would say too, that a lot of times you see people doing things and I'm not trying to be negative, but you see people doing things and it's because they're okay with replacing their seahorses, right? So
Mhm,
like when I first started, I got two pair and that was it. You know what I mean? Like I
mhm,
I didn't have multiple tanks of seahorses that, if something was going wrong here, I could try to figure it out, but I had all these other tanks going on. Um and I got there
mhm,
because I loved them so
mhm,
much and I loved keeping them so much because they're amazing. But I guess I'm just saying, like, when you only have a pair, if one of them starts eating funny or whatever, then that's a much bigger deal than if you have multiple tanks and fry and whatever. So
mhm.
I don't know, just different things. I'm just rambling, guys. I don't
Yeah,
really have
yeah.
anything.
That's
So
okay. That's why it's good to have you here because you have that ability to talk about something,
just
even
keep
though the
Mhm.
rest
talking.
of us have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah. I'd be like, I have nothing to talk about today. Sorry.
I know, man.
It'd
It's
be
been
dead
it's been
airspace if it
rough.
was just Holly and me.
Well, and I was gonna say too, Holly, that I really love that you said you might go back to seahorses at some point because
Mhm.
for me, I know I will. I'm not done with them
Mhm.
now, but
Yeah.
they're not giving me fry. I'm not putting new in because I want to, if when I do go back to it, like I'm seeing this as like kind of a retirement thing. Like I might be your next commercial breeder when I
Mhm.
retire. I can't do
Mhm.
it now. I physically, mentally can't do it, but I
There's
I
a lot
just,
to it.
well, and I don't know
There's a
why,
lot to it. It's
but
labor
yeah, but I
intensive.
don't know
It's
why
like a job.
anybody who's ever seen a seahorse
Mhm.
wouldn't keep them. Like they're so amazing. I
Yeah.
can't imagine my life without them. Like I said, after my mom
Mhm.
passed, I was depressed. I couldn't take care of them, is the bottom line.
Mhm.
So I let it die down. And then I tried to jump back in, and things haven't gone the way I planned. I didn't get fried, but maybe that was for a good thing because I'm working. But I'm just saying, like, I can't imagine not having seahorses. It's
Mhm.
You
just,
know, in the decades that I've had seahorses,
yeah.
and especially when the wife was still alive, and when we'd have people over, I had people that, so what, didn't interest them at all.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, there's always more that are interested than not interested, but still, there
Mhm.
are people that it doesn't fizz on them at all.
Well,
Mhm.
I mean, and anybody who has saltwater tanks, it's the same thing. Like to me, when I
Mhm.
had my mixed reef going, my clam was like one of my favorite things. I had a, oh, I'm
Oh
not going to
yeah,
say the name right.
I bet.
Dirsa clam? Is that, that's not it.
I don't know. I don't know the types,
Tridacna,
but
What did
clams
you
are
say it was,
cool.
Ray?
Tridacna.
No, it was a D word. I know it was a D word. Anyways, like he was so
I had
cool.
giant or clams, but right now I don't remember the names on them.
Right.
The frustrating part is whenever the spawning happened, they would white out the tank.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. But I'm just saying there are so many cool saltwater creatures in general. And in my mixed reef tank, I never had somebody come to my house and be like, walk right past it. They'd be like, oh my gosh, what's that? Because it was so colorful
Mhm.
and I had like so many different coral and some of the coral you could feed and see it eat. And it was just so cool. But I've never had someone walk past a seahorse tank and be like, eh. I still have people, like, when I tell them that I keep seahorses, I still have people that are like, what? Like, they don't even realize you can. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes dedication. It takes wanting to keep a seahorse tank because every one of those people have said, "I want to keep seahorses. How do you do it?" And then I'm like, "Well, you got to do this," and then they're like, "Oh, never mind, never mind.
That's
That's too
what I
late."
run into too.
But I mean, once you keep them, it's like a lifelong thing. I mean, I don't know many people who've kept seahorses and then just stop. It's
Well,
usually
I've
they'll take
kept
a
them
break,
multiple
come
times,
back.
but
Huh?
not back to back. Yeah, I haven't kept them years back to back. I've kept them intermittently since I was pretty young.
But you go back to them because they're
Mhm.
so cool. I mean,
Mhm.
they're so cool. And I miss my little fry, you guys. Oh God.
I
I
can
know.
honestly say I'll never go back to them.
Well, that's fair. That's
So
fair.
there is a point.
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Dan's not doing seahorses anymore
Yeah,
either. I
I
get it.
could see that. I can't see them doing for forever either because I mean, it's hard enough for me now to deal with buckets of water and all the work that goes with them. I can't see doing that when I'm 70.
Yeah, but think
You
about it.
know, I'm
Well,
There's
I was okay
55
up
now.
to,
There I'm not that old,
but
but
time out, time out.
already I have bad knees and this, that, that. So, I mean,
But the
unless I
thing
hire
is,
somebody
time
to do the
out.
work.
But you see, the other reason, and this I should have made this point earlier. The other reason that back in the day, way before I kept seahorses, it would they struggled to keep them
Mhm.
because they had to figure out the nitrogen cycle, the bacteria problems, the captive breeding. They had to figure all that out. So they struggled to keep them. Then you get to about the point in which I started keeping them, and you can keep them. You really can very well. If you buy captive bred, if you
Mhm.
follow the rules, you can keep seahorses. You just can't do other things in that tank. Now we're
Mhm.
seeing to the point where they're doing all these other things. And I think it's technology. I do. I
Mhm.
mean, you can go old school any time of the week. You can do crazy water changes and keep a tank and make it work. but they're coming up with all this new equipment and all this new
Mhm.
testing and all this new everything. Hey, Joey, hop in if you'd like. But I mean, it's just getting to the point where who knows in 20 years what you'll be able to
Where will
do.
be? Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
it's a
it might
lot
be so much
different than it
easier.
was. I mean, in some of my old books, I mean, they're talking about bringing in water from the ocean. So, like,
Right.
pretty much the people that were keeping seahorses and being successful were giving them fresh ocean water, and the ocean was cleaner back then.
Yes.
Like, we had that conversation once
Right.
with one of the guests who'd been seahorse keeping, yeah, since like the
Yes.
60s. Yeah, so back in the 50s and 60s, people keeping seahorses. I mean, I have books, people were able to do it, but they sure did it a different way than we do now.
Right. Right. And you know, there's something to be said for that. I love the idea um of I can't think of the word, what it's
They were
called.
even catching their food. I mean, they talked about catching the shrimp and all kinds of stuff that, yeah, we don't do
Well, you
any of.
can't do it like that now. I mean, you can't do
No.
it like that. Well, and one of the big differences is when they first started, they were keeping wild caught. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, so the wild caught seahorses
Mhm.
not only needed the fresh food, but also could withstand any problems that came with ocean water and fresh
Because
food.
it was
Like
their
I
water,
remember when I
their
first started doing
habitat water.
videos, I was like, don't, you know, don't ever, you know, use water that you haven't purified and
Mhm.
reconfigured and all that stuff because we're taking care of captive bred seahorses that haven't been exposed to any of that, right?
Yeah.
They've only so it is what it is. I just my whole point was technology is going so far and there's so much not only new equipment but just new knowledge. And
Mhm.
even though we don't see a big upturn in keeping seahorses in the hobby or even in commercial breeding because no one has been able to be successful at doing it lately. But you know, they're still doing stuff with science, right? They're still studying them in the
Mhm.
ocean. They're still doing different things and figuring things out. And I don't know. I don't think I'll ever stop keeping seahorses. And I do believe it will be because new information is learned and or new equipment and new things come up that make it easier. So when I'm 70, I won't be carrying buckets of water. I'll be, you know, press a button and then
Yeah,
it's, you know, done.
that'd be nice.
Right? Right? But it is what it is. So if you were to set up a seahorse tank today, Ray, if you were, I know you're not, but if you were, would you do it differently?
Be honest with you, no.
Okay, why?
Well, that's me. That's the way I am.
But
I'm a minimalist.
well, and it worked, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But also on the other end of that, you know, question is you were also back there building huge skimmers and, you know,
Well, that was before seahorse time. That was with my reef tanks.
I know, but you were
But you
figuring
see,
out to
because
keep
I had many
abdominalis.
years of the reef tanks, I wasn't so much needing a reef tank with seahorses in it.
Right, because you had both. But you also figured out how to keep abdominalis cool without a chiller. I mean, you figured out
I
how
couldn't
to.
have, if I had to pay, uh, I forget what it was now to do my 90. I think it was about $4,000 for a chiller.
Mhm.
If I'd have had to do that, I'd never have got them.
Mhm.
Right, but what I'm saying is you figured out how to DIY the situation and make it to where the water stayed cool.
Yeah, 50
I
bucks
mean,
was a lot better than 4,000.
right, right,
Mhm.
right. And what did you do? You had the AC and like
I've
tarp?
got a little window. I bought a little 5,000 BTU window air conditioner off of Kijiji, and it was used, and it still works. after all these years. So it served all the years with the abdominalis, and I still have it now if I want to boost the cooling in any part of the house. I have the central air on, but if I want, say, my part of the house now, especially with one of the dogs that I have, if the temperature is under 76 degrees, she shivers.
Oh,
So then I can turn on the window unit and have my living area. Uh, I guess you call it a living room. Well, to me, it's living area because I've got my everything is basically there, including my
right,
treadmill. My treadmill's sitting right in front of me across from the chair because I know if I put it in the basement, I won't use it.
right,
And this way, I never miss a day.
right. But with the AC situation with the abdominalis, you also used like I don't want to say it wasn't tarp, right? But you used something to enclose it.
Oh, I just enclosed part of it, or I guess you could say all of it, but I made a room in the basement for the abdominalis. Basically, that's what I did. But all it is construction 6 mil clear plastic.
Okay. But I mean, you figured that out is my point. And for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, abdominalis are a species that need a much cooler temperature. Um, is it so? Why do you think they do need a cooler temperature, Ray? Obviously, it's got to do with bacteria, but
No, it's uh, genetics. Like all their history has all been in cooler water. Uh,
okay.
it's just like well, what are these things in Florida now that were dropping out of trees because of the cold?
I have no idea.
They're a colder water fish then, not just bacteria thing. They like colder water.
Chameleons,
Chameleon.
Chameleons, maybe. I
the
don't
little
know about
lizards.
that.
But anyway, these
Maybe,
little lizards,
but
they've
go
been
ahead.
around for millions of years, but because it gets cold for them in Florida when they have the freezes that aren't normal there, then these things drop out of the trees.
Hmm.
Just, they're just
So,
done.
so abdominalis are just a cold water fish, but if people try to keep them in warmer temperatures,
They,
it's,
they
I mean,
can't
like
handle it.
they can't handle it is the bottom
Yeah.
line. Okay. Yeah, that's an easy way to put it. But all I'm saying is you figured out a DIY way to fix the problem. And as people do that more and more, I just think in the future we're going to have I'm going to press a button and my water's going to be changed and it's going to be awesome and I don't have to do anything. It's
I
going
don't
to be
know.
great.
That's half the battle of keeping them. Like I wouldn't have had the same interest if I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to keep them alive. Uh,
See,
part of it, part of the keeping them is part of the challenge of doing things right when you don't know what is right.
and I agree with that. I do agree with that. I just was the exact opposite of you, meaning I'm not DIY at all. I'm not good at saying, hey, I bet if I cut this pipe and fit it together with this screw, that might make this work. No, no,
No,
no,
but
no,
the
no,
thing
no.
is, you
Every
don't
time
have to.
I try to do that kind of stuff, it leaks, it's all over, it's not good.
But
So,
you don't have to be DIY for that. Like uh, maybe if I was really rich and didn't have the DIY capabilities, it's still a case of all you have to do is find out, do some research, find out what the needs are, and if
sure.
you don't have it, then you buy something to make whatever you want work.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying is I think it's going to get easier and easier. I think that people will be able to set up seahorse tanks, keep them successfully as long as we continue to have captive breeders. My biggest fear is that we will not have captive bred seahorses available. But as long as they are still available, and all this, new equipment is capable of being bought, I think it'll get even easier. Like, why hasn't Zen set up her seahorse tank yet? Does anybody
Mhm.
know? I don't even know if she's here, but we're still waiting. Come on, Zen. I'm kidding around, but
Someday.
I
someday.
think she's
And
got
and
a
I
lot of other things
respect people that
that,
take their time and do it right, for sure.
Mhm.
Zen's got prior things that have higher priorities that
Yes.
have to
Yeah.
keep cropping up. And when you got a younger family, that's
Yes.
a normal thing.
Yes. I mean, I can say though, for the record, that my kids are all adults now. They're all over 18, but my twins that were with me through the Seahorse phase, which was their entire lives, um,
Mhm.
they basically complained all the time and said, she loves her seahorses more than us. She does more for her seahorses. So
Oh.
it is what it is.
But the
Maybe.
thing is, if you didn't have the seahorses, one would be saying, well, you love the other one more than me.
Yeah,
And the other one would
absolutely.
say,
They
you
did
love
that
me
too.
more.
They did that.
But
And it was,
like
you know what?
this house
People,
here is only 1,200 square feet. And I had 5 kids. And so when you're looking at 5 kids going to school, some in high school, some in grade school and so on. And if I tried to raise seahorses back then, there was no way.
They
I
see,
wouldn't
always
all
had,
fit.
I always had aquariums, but back then it was always freshwater. I
see,
had
Mhm.
freshwater aquariums since I was in grade 5.
right.
Yeah, same here. I've always had
But see,
fish.
here's the thing is the cool thing for me, and you guys can see this if you look on the channel. My
Mhm.
daughters did videos with me, without me. There's a Seahorse Whisperer Junior video out there that's pretty cute. But I'm just saying, I got them involved.
Mhm.
So they learned about seahorses and about saltwater and why we had to mix this, salt water this way and why the rocks had to sit in this for so long and what I was doing with this tube to test and what I mean they learned so much from
And you have
helping me with
somebody
them.
to take care of the seahorses so you can travel.
There you go. Right.
Now, my kids, all they wanted to do was the drum corps stuff that they were in. They were all
Yeah,
in the drum corps, and of course that meant traveling as well.
sure.
And they wouldn't have taken an interest in the seahorses back then.
See, that's interesting to me because my girls did. I mean, they really did. They, like I said, there's videos out there. Go look through the channel. But I mean, they never, like loved the seahorses like I did,
Mhm.
but they were very interested in it. They loved bragging to their friends about them for darn
Mhm.
sure, and they
Uh-huh.
did help me take care of them. I mean, they,
Mhm.
enjoyed it. So
When they're in the mood.
when they're in the mood,
Yeah,
that's true for sure,
typical
especially
kid.
with teenagers. But anyways, yeah, I like I said, my seahorses are getting older. I don't have Fry, so I may take a slight break like Holly. I don't mean from the channel. I just mean from actually keeping seahorses when and if I do lose them. Um,
Mhm.
but I will definitely go back to it. There's no way I won't. I think it'll
Mhm.
be my thing when I retire. Like,
Mhm.
hopefully, guys, everybody needs to donate to the channel, buy merch, because that's my goal is when I
Mhm.
retire, I want
Mhm.
to, like be like I'm afraid at that point there won't be many captive breeders out there.
Mhm.
And I do have all the things that Dan taught me, and I think I could do it if I could set up the space to do it and get the right seahorses, right? I mean, like I
Mhm.
got seahorses they didn't breed. So it takes
Mhm.
that too. And I do know the process to
Well, just think of the
completely
cost.
deworm and deal with wild caught if I had to bring some in.
Mhm.
We're against keeping wild caught seahorses, but breeders have to bring that in order to create the captive bred. And
I
I
know
could
Dan was paying
seriously
as
see
much as
myself
eight
doing
hundred
that when
dollars
I
a
retire.
pair for reed eyes.
What?
I know Dan has paid as much as $800 for a pair of reed eye
Yeah.
brood stock.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I mean, but that's how you do it. And I mean, I could see myself doing it. I really could. So, we'll see. And I hope more people rise up. I like that. I wish that Facebook allowed sales, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are
Mhm.
having somewhat success with seahorses and breeding and raising, but they're not allowed. Where do you sell them? I mean, it's hard. It
Yeah,
is hard.
selling them is very difficult.
Yeah. So, anyways. All right,
Uh,
guys, I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Do we have any questions? Anything else we want to talk about? Miss Sophie will be back next week, and I will get with Sophie this week to find out, if we have any guests coming up, or if there's topics being discussed on social media. I
hello,
completely admit,
Zen.
huh?
Yep, Zen's here.
Hi, Zen. Woo! We were talking about you earlier. But if there's things going on social media, I'm missing them, because you guys have heard my sob story before, but I'm at work way more than I'm home now, and there's no time to get on social media. So that being said, I don't know the hot topics. So you guys have to tell me. Like you guys have to let me know. Hey, we want you to talk about whether this salt's good, or um
I only
why
see the
this
ones that
company's bad, whatever.
I get notices on.
What?
I don't go searching out for stuff. I just respond to stuff that I get notices about.
Sure, and I get that. I mean, we're all busy. I'm not trying to put it on anybody's shoulders. I'm just saying we can sit here and chit chat, because that's what this is supposed to be about, is a community and just chit chatting and getting together. I have no problem with this. But if there are people out there that have questions or want a topic discussed, you guys got to tell us. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, yeah.
Well,
Anything
if you're
else
going to
going on with
cut it
anybody?
now, then I don't have to go get a refill. My wine is gone.
Mine too.
Mine's not. I'm being a good
Mine
girl.
too. I have two. I actually have one rum and coke and one water, and they're both starting to dwindle.
Gotcha. And that's so smart. I think, hey, there's some good advice for anybody who wants it. Have a bottle of water if you're drinking rum and coke. Absolutely. Just, yeah. Um,
Have a bottle of water instead of rum and coke.
hey, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I've slowed down big time, just because, yeah, I'm just getting older, guys. It's harder to.
Yeah.
I'm not a party animal anymore. I'm still a seahorse lover, though. So.
Yeah.
And you know what I
I'm
really
coming up
still want to
now.
do?
Next month will be 34 years since I quit drinking.
That's awesome. That
Wow.
Thursday
sounds
night
great.
before Christmas in '91.
That's awesome. Really proud of you. But you know what else I really
I
want to
was
do?
turning 21, Ray.
Jeez. Jeez. What the other thing I really want to do, and I'm curious if people would still be interested or if it would be a good idea, is I want to redo some of my videos. Like I want to, and I mean it's hard to do, because I'm not gonna like reset up a tank, so I
Hmm.
can't step by step through it. But I kind of want to do some of the quicker videos, because like my how to set up a seahorse tank video is long, and it's not good audio, and it's not good whatever. And I really want to like redo it with updated facts and just a much quicker version. But again, finding the time. But I
Yeah.
think it would be
Well, see, what
valuable.
you need to do is find a Sophie that lives around you and get her started in this, and then you can videotape her.
Video that. Hmm.
Very
See,
good idea,
Sophie's
Ray.
just around the corner from me here.
I
Hmm.
know. See, I wish I knew more people in my area that like I said, when I even mention that I keep seahorses, people around me are like, what? I didn't even know you could. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that too.
Even Joey, he's probably a little under 2 hours to get from here to where Joey is.
Mhm.
It sounds like you guys are doing way more than we are anymore in Canada.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
that's kind of crazy.
Well, we have a harder time getting supplies here.
But your guys are still kicking out, really
Mhm.
doing the Seahorse thing. And I wish more people, I mean, they are. I'm just not on social media. I'm not seeing it, you
Yeah,
know?
and I don't pay that much attention, especially right now because it's my busy season at work. So
Yep.
I'm busy all the time. So I only see stuff by happenstance, So
Well,
I'm like
so
Ray
the
said,
thing,
I'm not looking to see what's going on. I just
right.
now and then I see something, and then I don't really have that much time to
Yep.
really look into it and check it out.
Right. So, but what I would say is for you guys that watch and you guys that are on social media and you guys that are younger and still diving into this, make sure that you not only bring us questions and bring us people who have questions, but also mention that this stream exists, right? That, oh, hey, you're trying to set up for seahorses? Go to this live stream. They'll answer your questions live and we'll walk them through, what they're trying to set up and help them and etc. They could either come in via video or just in the comments. No big deal.
The problem right now,
It,
though, most of the current ones are in the UK,
yeah, I know.
and that's time doesn't work out well for them for Wednesday night.
I get that. Well, let's also mention that if you ask a question or bring up a topic in the comments, we'll talk about it the following week. I understand if you're having a problem and somebody's sick, one of your seahorses is sick, that doesn't really work. But if you're getting ready to set up or you want whatever, that if you ask in the comments, then that's what we'll talk about the next week, right? So there's that.
Usually, if somebody in the UK posts about problems that they need pretty fast service, and somebody messages me and lets me know, and then I get on to the
Yep.
thread.
See, you're not keeping seahorses, but you're still the seahorse keeper.
Mhm. Yep,
Yeah.
I'm one of
Okay.
them.
yep, yep.
But all right. Well, guys, I mean, for tonight, I think we're gonna end it early. I've run out of things to ramble about. Still loving you, all of you, and loving seahorses, but I'm I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't ramble endlessly anymore. So Sophie will be back next week. We'll have some topics. We'll have some guests. I really appreciate you guys that do still come and talk to us when we're just being a community and talking. And don't forget, we want to hear what's going on with you. Like it doesn't have to be specifically seahorses. We can talk saltwater, anything that's going on with your tanks. We love to see your tanks, etc. But my eyes are closing on you without my permission. So I am going to call it for tonight. So Ray and Holly don't have to get refills,
I,
And
I can't
we,
even have a final drink with you.
uh,
I just tried now, and there's still nothing melted.
You can pretend.
and you can
Oh,
still cheers. Yeah. See, come
okay,
on.
there we
Um,
are. Wine
but
Wednesday.
hang on. Gotta wait for the time. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you everybody for coming. And if you have something you want us to talk about, just let us know. We'd love to share, the valuable information that the three of us have lived through, experienced, and can help you with. We just need the questions, right? But Sophie will be back next week and helping me run this. So yay for that. For tonight, everybody say happy Wine Wednesday.
Good
Happy
night.
Wine
Now where's your
Wednesday.
bottle, Ray?
Oh,
Cheers.
Okay.
Happy Wine Wednesday.
cheers. Happy
See
Wine
you
Wednesday.